Today we're going through the top 10 best budget knives of 2024. Now, some of these are not specifically from 2024, but I still think they still belong. But most of the knives here are actually from 2024, but I still think these are some really good knives from 2024. It's very hard to put together a list like this because there's so many great knives. Like, I feel like I could make this list all over again with completely different knives, but these are all absolute banger knives, and I would consider them some of the best budget knives of 2024. This one, however, is only an honorable mention because it's over $100. We're doing 100 and under. So we'll have some very affordable knives, but up to $100 because of inflation. It used to be $60 and under, now it's $100 and under. So thanks to inflation, knives and materials and everything have went way up. Now, this is about $125, but don't ever quote me on any prices because they're always subject to change, and in many cases, they're sales and deals, so check the links down in the description. This is the CYBERDASHI. Now, I know it's overpriced at $125, especially when you look at the next knife, but damn it, is it good. They did a great job on this. 154 cm, in my opinion, this is their best model. Perfect sharpening tool and plunge grind. This thing, like, it just wants to be sharpened. They did a perfect job on that. Great geometry, very slicey. The ergonomics are just hand melting. I mean, this thing is, my goodness, comfortable. In every grip, like, it's just so good. Perfect access to the lock bar. And the action is redonkulous. The thumb studs land exactly where you want them to. So, like, as soon as the blade drops, like, you can snap it right back out. It's so fast and rapid. Like, this is rapid deployment. And it feels good. The detent, like, it feels very consistent. Even down to the slow roll is very satisfying on this one. The handle material is a carbon fiber G10 combination. I think it looks pretty good, especially with the blue accents. Titanium mill pocket clip, steel liner lock, and yeah, very, very cool. But like I said, it is a little bit overpriced, especially when you look at something like this. The Kubby Titus in titanium in 14C28N. Yes, we have contoured milled titanium with titanium hardware. They have a few different color options, so this is not the only color option. With an inset pocket clip with flat screws, they basically hit everything out of the park on this. Great access to the lock bar, great action. This one hasn't even like fully broken in yet because I have a few different Titiuses. So they even have like real budget models, like that are like, you know, that you can get really affordably. Now this one technically is like $125, but I have a 20% discount code. Now, those of you that watched one of my previous videos that said the 50% off on the D2 models, I don't know what's going on with that. That's what I was told. I'm trying to figure it out, but I do know the 20% discount code will work on anything from the site. So you can get 20% off on this, which will bring it to about $100. So very, very cool. Now, the flipper tab, very comfortable. 14C28N, I love that blade steel. I think it's a phenomenal blade steel, especially for this price. When you're talking about with these handle materials, you're getting a premium knife here for $100. When, you know, yeah, the steel would be considered a mid-grade budget steel, but the handle materials and the way they're done, the way they're machined, the way they're machined on the inside, all the pockets and weight relieving, ceramic caged bearings in the pivot. So that's why it's so smooth. You have the reverse thumb flick and flipper tab action. So ergonomics are great. Just a phenomenal knife. This has been called the budget Koenig Arius because they do resemble each other a lot, and Koenig Arius is a very expensive USA made knife. Next, the Nightshade. Now this one, it's not this one because this one is a new version that you guys are getting a little sneak peek at. It hasn't dropped yet. Titanium and S35VN, but they have these anywhere from like $50-$60 up to $138 or something like that. You can get the there's so many different versions of this. You can get the large ones, you can get some with the thumb, you can get some with the thumb hole instead of the thumb stud. You can get, like I said, large. They have crossbar locks, they have liner locks, they have every type of version you can imagine with this because this is a very popular model and it deserves it. This is a Schillen cutter, or that's what it's modeled after, is the Schillen cutter, which if you've never used the Schillen cutter, Schillen cutters are extremely useful. And the reason why is because the blade is always pointing at anything you're cutting. If you notice, look at that, the tip's pointing, right? So if I wanted to open up a box this way or open up something, well, what about this way? Same thing. What about this way? Same thing. If I'm slicing, it's going to trap the materials almost like a recurve. If I turn it around and cut a strap, it's also going to trap the materials. So it just makes for a phenomenal user. This one, like I said, this one is a new version that's coming. But there are so many different handle materials, handle options, and then blade steel options, and so on. The action, really good. It is on bearing action. And yeah, just a great little knife. Next, talking about shilling cutters, we got the grouper. You know, this one probably should have went way more higher on the list, to be honest. This thing is fire. They did such a good job on this one. So this has a compression lock. So it has a compression button lock, which is known to be a very reliable, very good locking system that also offers a phenomenal detent. So this thing has a super crispy action. Like, I mean, you just break that detent. Listen to it. The blade steel's Nitro V. I love Nitro V, very similar to 14C28M, great blade geometry, and again, it is basically a shilling cutter. This one, I don't know if they're labeling this as a shilling cutter, but it basically is. We have the faux carbon fiber. I'm not a big fan of this handle material, to be honest, but they have other versions, so you don't have to get this one. But this is cheap handle material to me. I say, go with carbon fiber or G10, one of the two. Don't give me this mixture crap, because you can see the G10 underneath the carbon fiber. So it's like a thin layer of carbon fiber over the top of G10. It's real carbon fiber, but it's just a thin layer over the top of G10. I would prefer just to have full carbon fiber or full G10. Either way, the knife is amazing. Deep carry clip that is reversible. The button lock action makes it very, very fidget friendly. It's going to be a great cutter, great user, and a nice tough locking system. Next is the Sentinel Strike from CIVC. Now this one, you know, well, a couple things. One, this thing is a Wharncliffe blade shape in D2 steel. That is one of the, well, it's K110, right? Yeah, K110, which is D2. It's basically D2. Now, as much as I don't like to pay a high price for D2, I do gotta say two things. One, CIVC does a good job with it. A lot of companies, yes, they're doing it bad, but then there's some companies that do it well. You know, just like any steel. Any steel is like that. There are some steels that are easier for companies to do right, like 14C, which is a super easy steel for them to heat treat, so that's why they're typically good with it, you know, most companies. Then there's other steels that are a little bit more finicky. D2 happens to be one of those steels, but CIVC does a damn good job with it, and when D2 is done well, it actually has even better edge retention than 154 CM. This one has an aluminum handle with basically an integral back strap, if you can see that. Or as you can see, very ergonomic. The blade shape, it just wants to be used. I mean, this nice straight edge will cut all the way out to the tippity tip. You can use it for utility cuts. The button lock is a conventional button lock, but CIVC or We Knife Co. is the best at button locks. Hands down, I can't think of another company that does them as consistent or as well as We Knife Co. or CIVC. This thing is rock solid. I mean, like a damn vault. No, I have many of their button locks, and all of them are rock solid. I have one, which was their first one. They wound up getting some play. Then they adjusted their geometry on the lock, and now they're rock solid. We have a deep carry clip with a little glass breaker on the back, so a little safety feature just in case you get, you know, in your car underwater somehow. But it is a reversible deep carry clip that you can just flip around to the other way, the other side. The hole deployment works extremely well. Then you have the thumb stud, so you can use the thumb hole or thumb studs. Flipper tab also works really well. Geometry is nice and thin. You can choke up, get nice and close to that edge. Badass knife. Love this one. Now, speaking about knives I love, I have to throw this one in because I know it's a little bit older. I know it's been out for a couple of years, but I have to talk about it because to me, this is one of the best budget knives you can buy. Yeah, I think there's a lot of amazing, amazing budget knives, but when you're talking about a user, a user knife. Like this knife is just going to be not, well, let me be clear. This thing has fidget factor too, because if you like gravity style knives, which that's what this is, you have to push the button, swing it out, and then as you swing it out, it'll lock opened. Mine, I have multiple of these. They're all rock solid. All of them have a nice durable lock. Now, I wouldn't say go baton with them, but for regular use, everyday use, and if you're going to be using your knife over and over and over and over and over long term, this is a great locking system they did. So it has a leaf that has a disc, and that disc is attached to the leaf, as you can see. So it's locked open and locked closed. And yeah, it just, to me, this knife has, in my opinion, you know, like it has rapid deploying action that's very easy to get in and out of the pocket. And aside from that, the use is like a 10 out of 10. It has a spear point, deep hollow ground blade, like 15 thousandths behind the edge, and it slices like a dream. Then it's nice and narrow, as you can see. This handle is the perfect size. This is a full-size knife. You can choke up, you can turn it around and cut straps. Gas station knife fighting grip is good either direction. The balance is really good. Like everything about this thing is just amazing to me when it comes to use. This to me is a straightforward knife that's going to serve you well in any condition. Then this one is discontinued, or not discontinued. This one was an exclusive, but I'm bringing this out because you can get the titanium scales for this one. You can get the Flytanium scales if you want to dress this up. You can also get the titanium pocket clip. You can get a lot of different clips for it. So if you go on the CIVC site, which I do have a 15% discount code for on anything from CIVC site, so definitely use that discount code. But they have clips and, you know, all different types of milled titanium clips and whatnot. 14C28M blade steel, and yeah, for 65 bucks, 65 bucks, something like that, you can't go wrong with this one. Absolute winner. But it technically was from a couple years ago, even though it is so damn good still. Next, the CIVC, we did have 3 CIVCs in one, but the one was an honorable mention. But CIVC Cubit, I couldn't make this list without bringing it up. And one of the reasons why was because it was one of my most carried knives when it came out. Like I just couldn't get it out of the pocket. And again, like I was saying, their button lock action, this thing is still rock solid. Even though I've done edge retention tests, I've done durability tests, I've literally dropped this thing from like 9 feet over and over and over. You can go and watch that video. I did do a full review comparing this versus the premium version, because there is a titanium version in 20 CV. This one's aluminum with 14C28N, but it has a very thin blade. This thing is very, very, very slicey, very lightweight. This is what I would consider, if you're looking for a knife that is extremely light, like just an extremely light knife that you'll never even know you have in your pocket, you might want to check out the Cubit. This is one of the best lightweight knives. The blade shape is great for EDC purposes. It's very slicey, like I said, very ergonomic, fidget friendly. This, oh, by the way, I should have said this from the start. This, it doesn't come with this. This I got from Rip's Garage. It's just basically like a, it's not skateboard tape, but it's kind of like that. It's just a sticker that looks like micarta to me, but it just offers a little bit of texture. It wasn't necessary. I just did it because I thought it was cool. But it was just originally just red, but they have all different color options. So this is a badass one. Next, the Kaiser Drop Bear. Now this one did not come out this year. I think it came out the end of last year. But basically this year, you know, because anything comes out the end of last year, you know, they didn't have time to really, you know, go through all of 2023. At least I think that's how it went. But love the Drop Bear. This is my favorite version. Now this in many cases is priced a little bit over $100, but there's so many sales all the time. A lot of times it's under. And you can get the micarta version for under. This one is by far my most recommended one with the aluminum scales. To be honest, I like this even more than the titanium versions. I have titanium versions, I have fat carbon fiber versions, micarta versions, every version. This one's my favorite, even with the 154 cm steel. The other ones, yes, they might have premium steels and super steels, but something about this one with the aluminum handles, it just feels like it was made to be this. Same thing with the Kaiser Escort, which comes in the same materials, except for, like, I think the aluminum one has 20 CV steel, but it has the same aluminum handle, and you can also get it in micarta and, you know, maybe some other options. That one wasn't as popular as this one, and this one is, in my opinion, I hate to say it like this, but it's a bug out killer. This is a bug out killer. One, hands down. One, they use a better locking system, or sorry, I shouldn't say that. It's the same locking system as the Benchmade Access Lock, except for theirs is adjustable. Theirs is called the clutch lock. So you get to determine how strong you want your detent, which in my opinion, that is amazing, because that's one of the biggest complaints from crossbar locks is their detent strength. And they send you with an extra set of Omega springs that are even thicker that give you an even stronger detent if you put those in. So awesome, awesome knife. Like I said, man, this one, in my opinion, is the best version of the drop bears. Next is the JRB Pyite Light. We were talking about the lightweightness of the Cubit. This one is just as light. I would say just as light. You know, granted, it's FRN, so it's not aluminum like the other one. But if you're looking for a nice, solid, lightweight knife, JRB Pyite, man, this thing comes in a lot of different versions as well. So if you're not worried about the lightweightness, they have all different types of versions of this. I can't even go through them all because they have XL versions, mini versions, every type of version option you can think of. Even S90V, they got fat carbon fiber ones, they got full titanium, they got everything with this one. So awesome, awesome knife. But this one in particular, ARRPM 9 steel, FRN scales, it's like 35 bucks or something like that, 40 bucks. I think it was right around 40 bucks. So for 40 bucks, you're getting a lot of knife here. Very ergonomic, great shape to the handle too. It feels really good in the hand. Nice texturing too. The geometry on the blade is really good. You can see I've already been beating mine up because I have been carrying this thing quite a bit. It's just so lightweight, you know, in the summer when you're wearing shorts and stuff. This is an easy carry. Reversible deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws. Love to see that. T8 hardware. Except for on the pocket clip. So thumb stud action. Their button locks, I would not say their button locks are as good as We Knife Co's or CIVC's, but they're good. They're still good. They're solid. I've had more, I don't want to say issues, but I've had more knives from them get up and down with their button locks than I have CIVC, because I've only had one with CIVC, and that was their first one, like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, it's good enough that I can still recommend it. And, you know, button locks, they're getting better and better. Some companies don't do them very well, but some do. Next, the Wooo. Now, this guy, I had to put this in here. I had to put this in here because this is a replaceable bladed knife. So you just unscrew this and then the blade will pop out, right? I'm not going to pop it out. It has multiple different blade shapes, and you can get new blades for it anytime because now they have different blade shapes. You know, and you can buy them for like 10 bucks or something like that. I think they're 10 bucks. But it's 9CR18 MOV steel. It's not garbage no-name steel. So you're not only getting a titanium frame lock, right? A titanium frame lock. Yes, it's just flat scales, but it's still a titanium frame lock with a steel lock bar insert. You're getting that in a 9CR blade, but you're getting three of them. Three of them for 54 bucks or $62, something like that. They changed the price. Like I said, always check, you know, just in case. Last time I checked, I think it was 62 bucks, but even at 62, it's still a phenomenal price. Still a phenomenal price because you're getting three blades. So you don't have to worry about sharpening it every time. You know, if it goes dull, switch your blade out, and then you can take these blades out and put them in your fixed angle system or do them freehand. So it just becomes a very, very useful knife designed for somebody who wants a user. If you want something to beat on, if you want something to use, and these blades are very thin. So these are very slicey blades. Now, like I said, I will have everything linked down in the description. I highly recommend this for pretty much everybody because it's just, you know, like I said, replaceable blades, you get three of them. So you're basically getting like three knives in one knife for under $100. And the detent in action is also really, really well done. Like great action. You wouldn't expect it from a replaceable bladed knife. And then next is the QSP Vault. And I gotta say, it's kind of tough choosing which one's better between this and the first place winner. This is such a good knife. This is the best thing QSP has ever done by far. The QSP Vault has a beautiful, gorgeous looking drop point blade, 154 cm. This one has the dark wash, but there's obviously other color options and other scale options. This one has the brown micarta, which I gotta give them credit. They've pretty much always done decent micarta. This is some good micarta. I like that, you can see the consistency in the fibers of the scale, which I always like to see because it just tells me that it's quality. That has aluminum bolsters, and then it has a deep carry clip that is reversible. You just unscrew that and flip it over to this side. So that's awesome. Very minimal screws right into the back. I actually have a knife design coming like that with the titanium mill pocket clip. This one has the crossbar lock with very grippy buttons or disengagement buttons, and they tune this detent so well for a crossbar lock. Like, this is something that, to me, Benchmade has a few knives. Like I would say the 940. The 940 is one of them that has a pretty good detent. But a lot of their knives, man, they're like soft and spongy. This thing, just basically puts a lot of those to shame in a way. And it's so good, so snappy, very ergonomic, great size. This is like the perfect size knife for most people. Sharpening tool and plunge grind is good. Look at that, perfect sharpening tool and plunge grind. So you're gonna have a lot of life to sharpen off of this thing. The blade, or sorry, not the blade, the lock is a strong locking system, the crossbar lock. It is one of the strongest locking systems. No, it's not a triad lock or a shark lock, but it's damn strong, considering, if you go and look at the tests on it, these locks have been known to like hold up like 250 pounds or something like that. So, and listen, you can hear the detent. What?
There's a lock called the SLS, like the strong locking system.
Yeah, no, that's not the strong locking system, but it's the crossbar lock. But yeah, awesome knife. Now, number one, like I said, this is kind of tough to decide which should go in number one, but number one, I can't find. I do have it somewhere. I have 3 of them. I don't know how I can't find one of them, but the Vision, the CIVC Vision. Now, the CIVC Vision is absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend the Nitro V and whatever handle material you want from micarta, Altum, whatever you pick, over all the other ones, over their premium model, over their Damascus version. Now, don't get me wrong, the Damascus version is damn good looking. So if you're wanting a great Damascus knife, get the Vision, because they have a beautiful Damascus on that. And they actually do a good job with their Damascus. It's an AUS 10 or something like that. Now, I do have a video testing the Vision against each other. The Nitro V versus the Damascus versus the 20 CV. If you want to go watch that video, we did abuse tests, we did edge retention tests, sharpening tests, we did everything. So go and watch that video if you're really interested in learning more about this knife, or if you want to just go watch one of my reviews or my first impressions. I've had it in a lot of videos, so I definitely have some videos I can steal from other videos to throw in over my words right now. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know, I always have it, and then as soon as I'm looking for it, I can't find it, but I'll find it, in the next day or two. But anyways, the Vision, man, CIVC Vision, absolute badass knife. It's using the Snex lock, which is a strong locking system. However, I did have, so out of the 3 that I tested, 2 of them did fail, but not like right away. So, all right, so the premium version did fail fairly easily. The other 2 didn't fail easily at all. One never failed. Even when I was beating on it, it did not fail. But the other one did eventually fail. So, it is a failable lock, but considering how much power I was generating when I was hitting it, like I was hitting it on concrete, and they were holding up pretty well. So I would say it's a pretty damn strong locking system that has really good action, and it's got a deep carry clip, great ergonomics, great fidget factor. It pretty much has everything going for it that you want in a pocket knife. Even the sharp and and plunge grind is phenomenal on that knife. So anyways, there you guys go. There's my top 10 best budget knives of 2024. As of right now, the list could change. If you guys like this type of content, I will put some cards up on the screen for you to click on. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.